let's talk. So, if you guys have not seen it already, Best Buy came out and said that they were, going to pretty much be doing away with physical media, and we're going to talk about it. So, I know a lot of you probably already download your games, directly to your system of choice, whether that's a digital download, whether that's streaming the game. And I know a lot of people do not buy even physical movies anymore. That seemed to phase out for, I don't know, it's been like that for a while. Most people stream it, whether it be Netflix, Hulu, Peacock. There's just a ton of streaming sites and streaming platforms. With that being said, it does in fact look like Best Buy is one of the retailers to go forward with this, getting away from physical media. The CEO of the company of Limited Run, gosh, it took me a second to remember, even said that he heard rumblings of Walmart going away from their physical Xbox games because a lot of that is digital at this point. And of course, Game Pass makes that an easy access for any and everybody. My biggest thing that I want to say is, a lot of people are not really affected, right? People are just, especially new gamers, they're just like, hey, I'm gonna download it. Don't have to go to the store. I don't have to worry about salespeople. And the list goes on. I know a lot of people don't want to go to the store. It's just convenient to download the game, right? But, collectors are definitely probably saddened to hear a lot of this, whether that's a physical movie collector, physical game collector. But I do know that I've been in retail for such a long time, and as a lot of you know, I worked at GameStop for, over 9 years. And really, when it comes from the business aspect, right, so the retailers are buying these games with very low margin of profit. And just because a company makes money does not mean they're profitable, right? Because flat's got to be paid for, employees have to be paid for, rent for the place. The list goes on and on. So I always love using Nintendo as the example because when I worked at GameStop, for instance, if you bought a brand new Switch game for $59.99, GameStop in profit might have made anywhere between $6 to $8 depending on the game. And that's not a lot because most associates got paid over $6 an hour. I mean, in the state where I'm from, that is way lower than minimum wage. And so you have that physical media, but in a lot of cases, especially Ubisoft, Microsoft, you're paying for the download code that's on the disc, if that makes any sense. Now, granted, there's still benefits to that, right? You can turn around and sell it later. You can always have it. It looks good on a shelf. But that's not really ideal, right? It's cool, but you still have massive updates to install, and it's kind of annoying. Now, I will say, for Nintendo and Sony, and I'm not going to say all of Sony because I can't think of all the games off the top of my head, but most of the time, when you buy a physical media for Nintendo or Sony, you're getting the game. So it's not just the download code, essentially, with a coaster that's right there with you. The reason why I mentioned Nintendo is because the majority of their games, you own them. I know there was an exception with some of the Resident Evils, or one of the Resident Evil games, and anything that you have to stream or digitally download to the Switch, you don't technically own. But neither here nor there. If you go out and buy Luigi's Mansion, you're going to have it. If you buy Animal Crossing, you're going to have it. Right? You buy Tears of the Kingdom, you're going to have it. And it was the same way with a lot of Sony games, for instance, Horizon Forbidden West. It's not, to my knowledge, and someone can quote me if I'm wrong and say, hey, you're wrong, Buster, that Horizon Forbidden West, that was not just a download that was on the physical disc. Unless you got the collector's edition and above, then yeah, I know it came with a digital code. But I'm talking about if you bought a physical copy for it. So, overall, it's not shocking to see the industry change just for that. And you got to think from the developers' standpoint and publishers, they're making more money anyway. Because, like, I would imagine that the digital market probably funds more to the developer and publisher. And I could be wrong, right? Because, like, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo could have so many download codes that they bought that they can give out for that game. I'm not too sure on the digital format of that, as opposed to like the physical. I knew how that worked just because I worked in the industry, selling video games all the time. So I don't know if there's really much profit to be gained from the other companies, like from a digital download or not. But I would imagine it probably still supports, like either way, if you buy physical or digital. So what I'm going to end on really is we are going to enter more into a world where games are going to be digitally downloaded or even streamed. I'm not looking forward to the streaming. I know Microsoft introduced this downloading very early on, 2013. At the time, everyone was upset, didn't want to do it, and now it just seems to be very convenient for everybody. So I'm going to be really honest with you. I hate to see physical media go. I love collecting. I love the fact of having it on the shelf. I don't order very, very often, maybe once or twice a year from Amazon. So I do, and not even because I work for them, but I do go to GameStop, and I do still like buying physical games. Now, most of the physical games we own are for the Nintendo Switch, and there's a lot the 360 titles that they still sell and some of the retro stuff that they still sell that I like to have physically that I buy. I won't ever have to worry about the industry shutting down a game because I have the copy. And granted, I know emulation is a thing, but I don't want to emulate like all of my 360 library on my PC. Now, granted, that'd be a cool idea, and if someone wants to shoot me some links on how to set that up, I'm super down. But for the sake of the conversation, I like to have the physical copy. Like my OG Xbox collection, I love it. I love having them. I love going into retro stores and just looking at the OG Xbox lists. I know that wasn't a lot of people's favorite console, but it was one of my favorites, so I really enjoyed it. And I like to go into Game Exchange. What are some of the other ones that we have? So there's Game Exchange, CM Games. I mean, of course, GameStop still now, now carries them. Gosh, if I could speak. And some other retro places that I've been into before. So, flea markets are also notorious for having some of that stuff too, so I like to go and look at that. I am sad to see physical media go. I'm still going to collect as much physical media as I can because I enjoy it. And one last thing to kind of really leave off of is from the gamer point of view, in me, buy physical, buy digital, whatever's got the best deal, right? So if Target is running a certain sale, Walmart's running a certain sale, directly digitally download running a better sale, GameStop's running a sale, Amazon's running a sale, whatever. Just buy games as buy what you want, how you want, but save money in the process. That's why whichever consoles come out, I will always have a disc drive because A, I like physical media, and B, if there's a better deal physically, I'm going to buy it physically. So, just shop savvy. That's really the biggest thing, but if you really like digital, stay with digital. If you like physical, stay with physical. If you like both, like me, do both. I still prefer to have the physical. I don't know how many more times I can say that in this video, but I really think that people should be happy with however they want. Granted, I have seen tweets by Ryan Cohen, the now, I don't know if he's the still the interim CEO, but he was on the board of directors, the chairman, was wanting everybody to have disk drives in their upcoming consoles because there's a need for physical media. And if I really looked up the numbers, I don't think the need's there as much as he wants it to be for his company to succeed at this point. I want to see GameStop succeed just because I still have a lot of friends that work there, and I still love the company regardless. But nonetheless, if you guys really want physical, keep buying physical. But unfortunately, we are in the day and the age where we're probably not going to have it around much longer. I'm not going to put a time frame on it because I love it when like people would constantly say, "Oh, GameStop's going under, physical media is going away," and yet even a decade later, both are still here. That's funny to me, and I love it because people don't know. We don't know if there's going to be physical media tomorrow. We don't know if there's going to be physical media in 5 years. Just keep enjoying what you want to enjoy, man. It's really not that big of a deal. But nonetheless, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm glad that I could make this video for you guys. Work's been kicking my butt a lot lately, so I'm going to keep on with that. But I had to make a video on this because it, pertained a lot to my interests. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you in the next one.